Spices add flavor and pizzazz to any dish, but you need to know how to prepare and store them. I'm Kelsey Hubbard, and I'm here with Aaliyah Lecong, the Culinary Creative Director of Janoon, and she's going to teach us how to do it. You know, this is very important because you want to start off with the right spices, preparing them, and actually keeping them so they don't go bad.
Yes, absolutely. I think that starts with the buying. I mean, the first thing that you want to do is, if you are in a market or somewhere where they're selling it in cellophane, you have to know that the spices are already degrading. You really want to buy things that are in airtight containers.
So keeping them airtight as long as possible until you use them is really the freshest way to keep them, right?
Yes, so keeping them in airtight containers and keeping them away from light, heat, and humidity. The less oxygen that comes in contact with the spice, the better.
And I noticed you brought some here that you use from at home.
Yes.
And these are different from what you have here in the restaurant, but you're using these much more frequently here.
Yes, so in the restaurant we go through tons and tons of spices. We're downstairs, there's not a ton of light. In my house, I keep these on display, all very labeled. Yeah. And what I like is that they're metal containers, so the light really doesn't get into them. You just want to buy a little bit at a time so that you can go through it and buy new, fresher spices again. But what I like to do is just buy in bulk and then split them amongst my friends.
You all can share in the spices.
Exactly.
And what about refrigeration? Do any of these need to be refrigerated?
If you see the spices oily, I would stick it in the freezer. So there's certain chilies like the Aleppo chili, there's a Turkish chili called an Urfa biber. These are all sort of really specialty products, but those I keep in the freezer because they keep for a really long time that way.
If you are keeping them airtight, about how long can you keep a certain spice? And when do you know if it's gone bad?
Well, a lot of, if you buy them in store, a lot of the packaging has use-by dates. Okay. But if not, I think about a year is the max that you want to keep the spice. And you can tell, I mean, if you smell it and you're not hit with the smell, I would say toss it and get some more.
Do you use something like this, which looks very interesting, or something a little bit more modern?
It depends on the, well, it depends on the texture that you want. Sometimes this is a great, mortar and pestle is, you know, in my kitchen 24/7, but I also like to use just a basic coffee grinder. You know, you toast up the seeds, you throw them in here and you blend them. And you can do different spices to different varying levels of texture as well in here. One way actually to clean this is that if you have too much of a smell in there and you've been grinding a bunch of spices, you can throw some rice in there or some salt. And what that'll do is just get rid of the smell. It'll pick up all the particles in there and you can just toss that out and wipe it out.